Hey everybody, thanks for joining me again. It is still January 6th, 2022. Um, this morning I did the quick video about frostbite and hypothermia and how you can tell the difference between those two things, and I just wanted to follow up just with an IMO moment, in my opinion moment. You know, where I live, it gets pretty cold. And a lot of times I joke and I say it's a hearty cold. It's a really good cold. And, we're really strong people that live here and go through this. But it gets really dang cold. And right now there's like a severe weather advisory because wind chills, well, currently right now I think it may be somewhere around 11 degrees outside. Um, I might be wrong. No, actually it's 13 degrees outside this lovely evening. And by tomorrow, by 7 o'clock in the morning, the National Weather Service said that it's possible for the wind chills to get to 35 below zero. Outrageous. I mean, yeah, it's where I live, and yeah, the weather does get like this. But what I find that's really outrageous is that I called the numbers for public schools in the area. Oh, they're still expecting the kids to go. Make sure they have on a hat and some mittens. Yeah, they're going to have on a hat and mittens, right? And go outside and what? Freeze while they walk to school because there are no school buses available because they can't get enough drivers, particularly when the weather is so bad and with the increase of people being sick at this time. You know, when are schools going to come up with some alternate plans? I mean, we had a whole year where kids were off because of the virus and the stuff that was going on in the community. So within that time period, didn't they come up with a plan B? You know, yes, we'll have the kids in school, blah, 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 but in the event of severe weather, because the weather has been going like a pendulum, or in the event of another outbreak of one of the various factions of the virus, um, then let's do distance learning. Someone could be responsible enough within the school system to say, oh, the National Weather Service is saying that they are expecting this on Friday. So if they're expecting this ridiculously low temperature, which is very severe, I mean, this is not like mild. 35 degrees below zero is not mild, but yet they still expect parents to send their kids to school when they don't even have all the teachers in school and can't get people to drive the bus. Hey, even trying to get transportation for me, back and forth if I were to take a cab or one of those other transportation sources, it's difficult right now. It's expensive because people's cars are not starting. They're just not starting. It's just how it is. People's cars are not starting. And then you've got, a lot of people getting sick and it's going to be really difficult. So school buses will not be able to get around to picking up people because of the decrease in the number of drivers and lots of transportation not working. So they put the buses on a 2 hour delay, 2 to 3 hour delay. But the bus is still going to come pick up those kids, just have them standing out in the cold, and like a popsicle until the bus shows up. Really? I mean, what kind of sense does that make? Does that really make sense? It doesn't make sense to me. And for those that happen to be fortunate enough to live within 2 or 3 blocks from the school, and that, do you think that a 6 year old or 7 year old or even an 8 year old is going to trudge through the snow for 2, 3, 4 blocks with their little mittens and hat and scarf and stuff on and be just fine if the temperature is 35 below, if the wind chill is 35 below, which they're expecting around 7 in the morning, which is the time that young kids go to school because they always send the smaller kids to school before even the time that the older kids go to school. So, and things are not supposed to like level out to close to zero until around 10:30, which is the time when buses will start going around and picking up those other kids. There's just stuff that doesn't make sense. This is a time when we have to like use our common sense and think, hey, is it safe to be out during this kind of weather? What kind of protocols are in place? And if you check online and you see that the National Weather Service in your area is saying that it's going to be dangerous, that's like saying, National Weather Service has issued a tornado watch. Are you going to say, okay, Bobby and Joey, go out there and catch the bus or start walking to school? That tornado's going to miss you. No, of course you wouldn't say that. So why do we accept this when it comes to severely cold weather? Frostbite is real and can really cause some significant damage, permanent damage to a person's hands. Frostbite and hypothermia are real. So, if you have to go out somewhere, if you haven't prepped and you need some food or you need whatever, or you've got to go pick up the kids from daycare or school, or you don't have any backup options because you have to go to work, dress in multiple layers, dress those kids in multiple layers, and whenever they're picked up after school, don't just leave in a rush because the school said, okay, get out, get out, get out, get out. No, tell your kids to stay there until they get all those layers back on because this is their health. This is their safety that we're talking about. And we have to look out for ourselves and our families and our communities because if we don't do it, who's going to do it? That's my opinion. So, hope you're having a great day. Just wanted to share that quick moment with you. And please dress in layers. And if the heat, if having heat is difficult wherever you are, then just know that there's a lot of people having it hard. Work on making those quilts like I talked about before. Get those scraps of material. If you have outgrown some clothes or some stuff is kind of worn and you're not going to wear it anymore, start cutting some squares out of that stuff and make a bunch of squares and start sewing the squares together until it's long enough and wide enough that it will become a blanket for you, a quilt for you. At least work on that one side of it. Don't just throw that stuff away. Make good use of it so that it will be something useful and helpful to you to keep you warm in your home. And if you feel like you don't need it, after you make it, share it with someone else that might need it. There's a lot of people out here that are really struggling. There's people that are sleeping at bus stops. There's people that are sleeping behind dumpsters and alleys. There's all sorts of situations, and a lot of people that just sleeping in their vehicles. And there's not like not everyone has their vehicle all modified where it's like a tiny home on wheels. Sometimes people just have nowhere else to go, and so they have their car and whatever belongings are in their car, and they get in the back seat and they pull their coat over their head and try to get some rest. If the temperatures are this cold where you are, just, be mindful that there may be some people that are going through really, really difficult times right now. And let's keep those people in our thoughts and our prayers. And I said I was going to talk for a few minutes, and I've already gone over that. So I'm going to say good night to you all now. And I hope that you have a safe and comfortable and warm tomorrow.